Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap. I hope all of you guys had a wonderful day. My day was all right. Today is April 30th. It is Wednesday. Um, yeah, we got actually quite a bit of news to cover today. A majority from the Trump administration, per usual, but we do have some other news segments as always. Yeah, I hope all you guys are having a wonderful day. Not too much for me to yap about today. Went to school. That's about it. Yeah, let's get started. For the Trump administration segment today, we have Trump has freaked out about the economic numbers and blamed Biden. Trump is considering sending migrants to Libya and Rwanda. A Ukrainian mineral deal has been signed. And a Haitian woman has died in ICE custody. Yeah, there's not more after that. Okay, cool. Trump has freaked out about the economic numbers, and he has now blamed Biden. Trump has once again blamed Biden for something he didn't do, as he claimed Biden was the cause of the economic contraction in the first quarter, and suggested he'd blame Biden again for the second quarter's results. This is Biden, and you could even say the next quarter is sort of Biden because it doesn't happen on a daily basis or an hourly basis, Trump said in a cabinet meeting. Trump claimed this is because he didn't take over till January 20th and because the tariffs haven't kicked in yet. Tariffs will soon start kicking in, and the companies are starting to move to the USA in record numbers. Our country will boom, but we have to get rid of Biden first. The Biden overhang, he claims. The tariffs have nothing to do with the GDP. That's an interesting argument, isn't it? So why is it that the market crashes every time Trump enacts the tariffs, but when he removes them, they go back up? You'd think that has direct correlation to why the economy is doing so bad, because it in fact does. I mean, there's no way he's this dumb. He has to know that he is actively lying to his supporters and the American people. Um, he may be a bad businessman, but he's not the stupidest businessman. This isn't Biden's fault. I mean, we all know that. And the fact that Trump continues to bring it up is just proof of how small his ego is and how upset he still is over the fact that Biden lost. And all the Trumpies say, he's your president now, get over it. And Trump still got Biden's D in his mouth. God, I hate this timeline. Moving on. Trump is considering sending migrants to Libya and Rwanda. The Trump administration has discussed with Libya and Rwanda the possibility of sending migrants with criminal records in the United States to the two countries. This is a huge escalation in the administration's push to deport and deter people who want to come to the United States. In addition to migrants with criminal records, the Trump officials also hope to enter formal negotiations with Libya to strike a so-called safe third country agreement, which allows the U.S. to send asylum seekers apprehended at the U.S. border to Libya. No decision has been made on either yet, but Marco Rubio did say in a cabinet meeting on the topic, "We are working with other countries to say we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come across the border." This is absolutely insane. Instead of fixing our god-awful immigration system, they want to send people who try to immigrate to the United States for an opportunity and a shot to Africa. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure those are two completely different places. If Libya and Rwanda goes through with this, it adds them to a short list, but I'm sure a list that will get quite longer, of countries who, have committed human rights violations and committed crimes against humanity as a whole. In assistance to the Trump administration, of course, we have El Salvador on that list, and the United States as well already. Maybe Russia, possibly. I mean, they're not really contributing to anything in the United States, but I mean, if Putin is, actually buying out Trump, and actually Trump is just a Putin puppet, it's possible. Um, that's honestly, I'm kind of just surprised that's not more pro-American, countries like Libya or not Libya, Liberia, sorry, or like maybe an Ethiopia or something along the lines of that. Granted, I don't know a lot about Africa, and I'm pretty sure, their governments wouldn't go for that. So it's not, the most surprising thing. But I think like Liberia, granted, I don't know very much, but I'm pretty sure they're very like pro United States and pro American. So you'd think that would be one of the countries who would be more interested in working with the United States on this. But I don't know how they feel about the Trump administration, of course. Um, you know, uh, I'm not from there, and of course, I don't know a lot. I do know about the Liberian colony, and the one American African colony. But my knowledge on Africa is not the largest, I will say. Moving on, Ukraine's mineral deal has been signed with the United States. The US and Ukraine announced on Wednesday an economic agreement that had been reached to compensate Washington for billions spent to stop Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said in a video, This partnership allows the United States to invest alongside Ukraine to unlock Ukraine's growth, assets, mobilize American talent, capital, and government standards that will improve Ukraine's investment climate and accelerate Ukraine's economic recovery. Both sides have offered only bare-bone details about the structure of the deal, but it is expected to give the U.S. access to valuable raw Ukrainian materials in hopes of securing continued American support. Honestly, didn't expect this one to ever get done, so I'm kind of shocked by it. And I think it's interesting that it happened after Trump spoke against Putin, and put him down for his constant attacks on Kiev. But we'll see how it plays out. I am definitely interested in learning more about, you know, what plays into the deal, what went into the deal. Just more details on the deal as a whole. Just because that's something that interests me, and it's something that I will be reporting. I'm very sure, if information ever comes out. But yeah, moving on. A Haitian woman has unfortunately died in ICE custody. A Haitian woman held by ICE died Friday night at a detention facility in Pompano Beach, I believe is how you say that. Marie Angie Blasi, 44, was pronounced dead at 8:35 p.m. on April 25th by medical professionals at the Broward Transitional Center. Her cause of death is currently under investigation. Blase had entered the U.S. without admission or parole, and on February 12th, U.S. Customs and Border encountered her at Henry E. Roslin International Airport in St. Croix, the U.S. Virgin Islands, where she was attempting to board a flight to North Carolina. 2 days later, she would be transferred into ICE custody. First of all, my condolences to the friends and family of this woman, because I'm sure she has some out there somewhere. I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope you're able to get through that. I believe this is the third or fourth time now that somebody has died in ICE custody, and although it's unclear what the cause of her death was, it's likely that it's the cause of the other reasons for the so far ICE deaths, being dehydration and lack of being able to use the restroom, and so many other things, have played into these ICE deaths, and it's not okay. It really shouldn't be. You know, these people need to be freed as soon as possible, because this is inhumane and not okay in the slightest. Nobody, and I mean nobody, should ever have to live or be subject to be put into a camp. Sorry, there was a bug. Moving on to the other news segment today. We have three topics. Wisconsin Supreme Court has suspended Judge Hannah Dugan. Migrants have displayed an SOS signal from a detention facility, and the United States economy is contracting. This is the part mentioning, how Trump blamed it on Biden. The Wisconsin Supreme Court has suspended Judge Hannah Dugan. The Wisconsin Supreme Court suspended Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan because she was charged with 2 federal counts on allegations of her trying to help an undocumented immigrant avoid arrest. Under the order, Judge Dugan will not be allowed to carry on her duties and won't be able to start again until further notice by the court. Court officials emphasized that this is not a disciplinary action, but an administrative one. Dugan's case will soon go before a federal grand jury where she will face 1 felony and a misdemeanor charge that carries a maximum penalty of 6 years in prison and a $350,000 fine. All of this is alleged, of course, and not confirmed, but this is definitely one of the most interesting situations yet so far with a judge, and depending on how it plays out, I have a feeling it could likely have implications on, the judicial system, especially with judges that oppose the Trump administration. She will still get paid for this. She's basically just on administrative leave. But I definitely do think this is an interesting situation, and it'll definitely be something to see how it plays out. Moving on, migrants have displayed an SOS signal from a detention facility. Migrants at the Bluebonnet Immigration Detention Center in Anson, Texas, sent a message to a Reuters drone flying nearby. The 31 men formed an SOS in the dirt yard of the facility. Reuters was previously denied access to the facility by ICE, which prompted them to fly a plane and drone over to get aerial images of detainees. Free these men. Nobody should have to be in prison for wanting a better shot at life, as a majority of these people aren't in prison for committing crimes. A civil crime is not something that you can be put in prison for, I believe. I'm like 99.9% sure about that. It's not a federal crime, at least. I know that. Fix the immigration system, all that stuff. For the final thing today, the United States, I'm saying a lot. It's hot. It's heating up. The United States economy has contracted, posting the worst GDP in years. The U.S. economic growth has sharply slowed in the first quarter of 2025. The nation's gross domestic product total value shrank at 0.3%. I am so sorry. Annual and 0.3% from the annual rate of 2.4% in the final 3 months of 2024. That was the growth rate. This is the worst quarterly performance since early 2022, when the economy was recovering from COVID-19. This comes after Trump's high tariffs, which are currently destroying our economy at a rapid pace. Yet again, Trump blamed this on Biden, as mentioned. I know 0.3% might not sound a lot, but that brings us down to a 2.1% economic growth, which honestly is quite the drop, especially when you consider that we were projected to be at 2.8% economic growth right now. These tariffs need to be stopped ASAP, because it is very clear that they are impacting our country in so many negative ways. Not much more I can really say on that without sounding like, a broken record. With that being said, thank you everyone for watching this video. If you're on YouTube, please consider subscribing, liking this video, and dropping a comment down below. We're on our way to 500 YouTube subscribers, so let's get there ASAP, If you're on Substack, please consider pledging your support. All of the money goes to me, helping me pay for, the food, bills, and all that stuff I need to pay for while I'm in college. But if you're not, you can always subscribe for free. I appreciate all forms of support on my content. Check out my Blue Sky. It's in the link, or in the link of the bio of both of my accounts. It's where I post these news recap announcements when they're posted, and just random little bits and pieces of things that float into my mind. Like I'll say things about my favorite football team, the Cleveland Browns, sometimes, and all sorts of little random things. But that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all tomorrow. I'm pretty sure this is episode 40. Should have mentioned that at the start, but yeah, give yourself a round of applause for episode 40. On our way to episode 50. 10 more days, 10 more episodes. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Later.